Hello again, everybody. This is Rocket Rick J18, and today I'm going to do a VR response for Jayson over at Mr. Fisher Bike. He's he says that Scott has had some bad luck in winning contests, especially the ones that Jayson does. So we're all entering Scott for the first prize, according to Jayson. And then theoretically we can be entered for a second prize. So it doesn't really matter, but anyway, this is a novel thing, and nobody doesn't like Scott, so we're just saying Scott. This is a high five from the rest of the card community. And I think that's pretty cool. So, what Jayson wants us to do is show some Indians cards. And I think, in light of the fact that Scott's been on kind of a contest losing streak, I thought I would show him cards of some Cleveland Indians who were on an incredible winning streak. And let me just put the cards on display here, and so we'll get the camera headed in the downward position. And there we go. Come on. Okay. Definitely don't want that. So there we go. Okay. So there we are, roughly four pitchers for the Cleveland Indians during the decade, the half decade of the 1950s, that is to say 1951 through 1955. The Cleveland Indians as a team finished second place to the New York Yankees four times, and first place just ahead of the New York Yankees the other time. So, five consecutive years, four second place finishes, one first place finish. And in those 5 years, these four guys right here won 1951, 79 games, 1952, 76 games, 1953, 66 games, 1954, 78 games, and then in 1955, they won 48 games, plus a new guy that we'll talk about in a little bit, added another 16 for a total of 64. So these guys were winners, absolutely, no question about it, and no question but that Cleveland was a dominant team. They just had the misfortune to be ever so slightly less dominant than the New York Yankees during the same period. So that I think all of that really is pretty cool, actually. Um, and in 1954, 52. Well, 51 they won 79 games. That's the most they won. In 54 they won 78 games. So pretty interesting about all of that. So let's. The first guy, of course, needs no introduction. Hall of Famer Bob Feller. Uh, Career total 266 wins. But he was at the end of his career. He was a rookie in 1936. So by the time 1955 rolled around, he was pretty much done. He won four games in 1955. And Just absolutely superb pitcher. By the time the Indians had their record-setting 111 game, then record-setting 111 games winning season in 1954, he was pretty close to out of it. 51 was his last 20-game season, and during this 5-year period we're talking about, he won 22 and 51, then 9, 10, 13, and 4. So that's he made actually the lowest total contributions of any of the four of these guys. Mike Garcia, during this same 5-year period, won 20 games twice, and then 18, 19, and 11. Bob Lemon, he won 20 games 3 times, and then once 17 and once 16. And finally, Early Wynn, he won 20 games 3 times and 17 games twice. So that's the story of these four guys. And I mentioned in 1955 they had a 16 game winner named Herb Score. And he followed that up in 1956 with a 20 win season. And then tragically in 1957, he was hit in the face and head by a baseball off the bat of Gil McDougall. And he unfortunately never really recovered. He went on to pitch a few more years, but by 1962 he was out of baseball. He never won more than 8 or 9 games in a season after that, and it just really ruined his career. And he shattered bones in his face. Herb Score went on to have a fine broadcasting career with the Indians, and so it wasn't a complete washout by any means. So that's the story behind these guys. Great Cleveland winners, especially in the early 50s. And some of them, Feller, of course, when all of his best years began in 1936. He missed several years, 4 years, 4 seasons with military service. I believe he was in the Navy in World War II. And so if he had, he won 20 years the year before he went in the service, and he won 20 the year he came back. If he had averaged 20 wins a season for the 4 missing seasons, that would have been another 80 wins, which would have left him with a total of 346, which I'm absolutely certain would be much more emblematic of his talent. And who knows what he might have done. Just like Ted Williams. Ted had 521 home runs, 2,700 and some odd hits, more walks than anybody in baseball practically during his time. And he lost really 4.5 years to military service, both in the Second World War and the Korean War. And then he lost another half a season as a result of a broken bone in his elbow, which he got from crashing into the left field wall in the All-Star game. 1950, I don't know, 51, maybe a 50. I'm not sure what. It was early in the 50s, put it that way. The point is, uh, Bob Feller was a great pitcher. Bob Lemon, of course, Hall of Famer. Early Wynn is a Hall of Famer. Early Wynn is the only one of these four pitchers that actually won 300 games. And I remember when he did it, I'm not sure now whether it was the 1961 or 62 or 63, somewhere along in there. And it took him, he sat on 299 for quite a while before he finally got his 300th win. And, certainly a Hall of Fame career. So three of these guys in the Hall of Fame. Mike Garcia is not in the Hall of Fame, but he certainly was a terrific pitcher during this time period. So that's what I have for you, Scott. Um, you know, everybody likes to make fun of Cleveland and say, well, they weren't a very good team. And in the '60s, that was true. In all fairness, they were not really very good. But in the early '50s, they were really great. And if there had been a playoff system then, where the second team and the first team played for the pennant, uh, who knows what might have happened? They might have won. Uh, who knows how many they would have won? Anywhere between 0 and 5, I guess. You'd have to say, and certainly in '54, it's hard to imagine a 111 club winner not going to the World Series. But the team that holds the American League record for wins in a season, I think it's 114, is the Seattle, and they I think they won 114 and beat the or maybe 115. I don't know. I don't remember how many it was, but I know they they hold the record now and did not go to the World Series. They got beat in the playoffs. So that goes to show you that you can set the record for most wins in a season and not win the World Series or not even get in the World Series now. Of course, 1954, that was not possible because whoever won the league regular season went to the World Series. Well, that's what I have for you, and I know I said that already, but I thought I could add a few more things that might make this video a little bit more interesting. Scott, I hope you enjoy this and relish, the Cleveland winners over the years, especially back in this golden age of baseball. And I certainly wish you all the best luck in all your future contests, and I hope you win some of them. And you're going to win this one because the fix is in. So this is Rocket Rick J18, wishing that all your collecting dreams come true.